nourishing our bodies looks different. There are those basic things we need, like I said, sleep and food and shelter and, some sense of purpose in our life. It's going to look different for all of us.
Hello, and welcome to the Connect podcast. This show is all about helping you connect to your soul's calling so you can take action on it. Because the sweetest success is a blend of discovering your purpose with the inner drive to bring it to life. I'm Sheila, health coach, lifestyle entrepreneur, and mom of two, best known for my online wellness programs, mentoring, and self-love passion. Listen in for inspiring interviews, solo chats, and Q&A sessions that will move you past overwhelm towards what lights you up. Stop accepting good enough and go for your version of great in your health, business, and relationships. Let's get started.
I hope you've had a wonderful week. And I'm coming today to talk to you about how to start giving your body what it needs. You may think you know. It seems pretty basic. We need food, we need some fresh air, we need sleep, we need connection, we need love. We need so many different things that help us feel good. And welcome to those who are joining. Hi. So wonderful you're here. And I wanted to pop on quickly to talk about this because what does that really mean right now? How do we give our body what it needs? Nourishment, I love the word nourish, and it's so much more than food. I mean, there is a reason why we were designed with taste buds and why we love going to beautiful restaurants and why we love, trying new flavors. And some of us like things more spicy and some of us like things a little more mild. There's many different varieties of things that we like. But there's a reason why there's a taste. There's supposed to be enjoyment involved with nourishment. And so the word nourishment also, it means nourishing our souls, nourishing our curiosity, nourishing our spirit, nourishing our sense of adventure, nourishing our relationships, and nourishing our purpose. And it's going to look different for everyone. Some people's desire to nourish their adventure is to go trekking in the wilderness in Alaska, like my friend Sarah Histand, who I had on the podcast last year. Some people's idea is to live in Cambodia, like my friend Kim, who lived there during the beginning of the pandemic. She wasn't expecting to stay there as long as she did. These are people who I've had on my podcast. They just come to mind right now randomly. They have the desire to have that kind of adventure. Other people's idea of adventure may be, instead of going to a pizza place on the weekend, they want to order some Thai food they've never tried before. And that is the extent of their adventure. Some people's extent of adventure is even milder than that. So we are all different. We all have different tastes. We all have different desires. And in the same way, nourishing our bodies looks different. There are those basic things we need, like I said, sleep and food and shelter and, some sense of purpose in our life. It's going to look different for all of us. So how do we start actually giving our body what it needs? First, I believe, is fully knowing ourselves. And that means knowing what we like, knowing what we dislike. And it also means knowing from a physical perspective, a health perspective, where are we currently at? How are we really feeling? I am a certified integrative nutrition health coach. And with that, it's so much more than just nutrition. It's the whole spectrum of what we are putting into our bodies, what we're exposing ourselves to, our thoughts, our relationships, our careers, our recreation, our food, our nutrition, all of that. And how do we know what we need? We take an assessment. And often we will know if we're feeling balanced if we are tuned into ourselves. I talk a lot about this, getting quiet with yourself, to fully tune in, to see what you need, because what you need may be different than what I need. In our world of fad diets and in our world of how everybody is expected to look a certain way so that we look so amazing on camera, which I'm so grateful we're seeing different stories emerge that are a lot more healthy of the spectrum of how we look, and it's all beautiful. In the same way, your health requirements might look different than mine. And so one thing that I highly recommend is for you to actually sit with yourself, see how you're feeling, and also get the help of your medical practitioner, your naturopath, your osteopath, whoever it is for you. Myself, I will tell you what I do, and something that actually all of us should do to get at least a baseline perspective of where our body's at and how things are working is get an annual blood test. It's a simple thing. Well, I mean, it's not so simple getting results right now. I've found I had some recent tests, just regular annual things, and it's the wait from the lab is like 6 to 8 weeks, which is wild. Normally it's 1 week, right? In Ontario, normally. So either way, that's another reason why I came out to talk about this. Get a blood test, see where you're at. See what your blood levels are doing. See where your hormone levels are at. If you're a woman, looking at all of that. And if you're a guy too, seeing where your thyroid levels are at. Seeing where your iron levels are at. That's been a real journey I've been on. And finally, my iron levels are stabilizing after shifts with estrogen, progesterone. As I approach 50, these things happen, right? For women headed towards menopause, things are shifting. No matter how healthy you are, your body is going through a natural shift, and it can be really beautiful if you're paying attention, feeling into how you're doing, and actually looking at what is your body telling you. Not only how is it feeling, what is your blood telling you? It's something we all have coursing through us. And there's so many amazing things that we can learn when we look at that very basic marker. And I understand during this time we're in, it may be something that's fallen by the wayside for you. You felt like, well, I don't really want to be anywhere near any kind of medical establishment right now because, we need to leave those spaces free for people who might have, serious ailments, etc. Or, you're just wanting to, put that off until things calm down a bit. And I'm here to tell you, the labs that I've been to have not been overrun with people, just so you know, at least in my area. And here's the thing I want to encourage you with. When you actually take that time to take a preventative approach to your wellness, you're helping everyone because you're going to see how you're doing before there's any kind of indication that something could be off. You might catch something really early that is very easily treatable with your medical health professional. And I love having it done every year because then you get to compare year over year. If you're kind of a blood test geek like me, you might look year over year at your blood tests and compare. Well, how are things shifting? How am I compared to this time last year or the year before? What has changed? And I'll tell you a little story. Something that I really noticed impacted my blood test over the last several years are stress levels. I went through a period of time where my mom moved to live in the same city as I did. And there were a lot of emotions around that. I was happy to have her here, but it wasn't under the happiest circumstances for her, unfortunately. And things were improving, and that involved I had to do a lot of extra things, which I was grateful to be able to do because I love my mom. And then she went through a time where she was shifting, things were better. And then she ended up having a stroke and passing away. And so there was a lot of stress around that. And I realized all of those ups and downs definitely impacted me. And I could look and see, it's so interesting. I could look and see there are correlations between those incidents and my health. Because our mental health, our emotional health, it all impacts our body. And what's happening in our body impacts our mental and emotional health. So you may be feeling great right now. You may think, no problems. I don't need to do this right now. It's all good. And I'm saying, why not just check? And that way you've got that taken care of for yourself. And then you also can learn what areas in your lifestyle can you fill in those gaps. As a nutritional wellness coach, I do talk a lot about micronutrition, proper foods, making sure they're absorbable, all of those things. And for me, as I mentioned, my iron levels were depleting. It was something that I had no idea about until I looked at my blood tests, and it's been a journey. So sometimes you can feel okay, but then realize, oh, something's a little bit off. And then when you make the adjustment, you realize, I feel so much better. I didn't even know I could feel this good. This is something I often hear from people who start on my wellness programs, actually. They're thinking, I want to be preventative. I'm getting to the age where I need to be looking at these different parts of my wellness and start making some adjustments. And so they start taking some of my recommendations and they meet with their medical health professionals and they run everything by them. And they realize I'm feeling more energy. I'm sleeping better. I'm able to be more physically active. I don't have as much achy joints. This is incredible, but they didn't know that they could feel that good because they just were accepting how they were feeling. And sometimes as we're progressing through our age, we just expect, well, this is when everything starts to fall apart and you start to just not feel so good. So I guess it's just how it's supposed to be. I'm here to tell you, oh my goodness, in the world of health sciences, nutritional sciences, there is so much beautiful stuff on the horizon and stuff that's happening right now that is so regenerative for your health. You have no idea. And so I can't wait to teach you so much more about this. So right now, it might be a little too late wherever you are, or maybe depending on where you are in the world, your medical facilities are open and you can book your blood test. I would love to know if you do it, if you make a connection and if you start tracking these things. And if you're a woman, also tracking your cycle each week of the month and seeing how your energy shifts and seeing how your nutritional needs change, how your appetite changes, how your energy changes. All of that is actually a really beautiful gift for you to follow when you know what your body is doing at each phase. And that's what I love to walk people through in my wellness and self-care programs. So go to the link in my bio. You can see on my website all the different things I offer. And as well as free consults, you can DM me and I'll let you know what new things are coming up. And I would love to help you along this new phase of your journey with a more hopeful outlook for what's possible for you in your health that also impacts your relationships, your career, and ultimately your purpose here in this beautiful world that we live in. So thanks for being here. I hope you have an incredible weekend and I'll see you back here next week. All the best.
Thank you so much for being here with me on the Connect podcast. If you like this episode, please share it with someone you think would enjoy it. Also, if you head over to iTunes to leave a review, I'd be so grateful. Let us know what your favorite parts were and what you'd like to hear more of. It will help us have a greater impact, elevating many more people to grow and succeed together. See you next time.